So guys, have you ever been to a restaurant and you got yourself a good piece of salmon, grilled up, all smoky flavored? And have you ever thought, you know, I could probably do this at home, it shouldn't be that difficult, but it never turns out right? Well, you're in luck, because today I'm going to teach you how to make the Paul Boat 2 grilled salmon. So the first thing you got to do, you got to marinate that piece of fish. I marinate my pieces of fish for about 2 to 4 hours before I start grilling. So, the first thing I do is I get all my ingredients out in front of me and ready to go. First thing you do is you put 1 tablespoon of lemon pepper, a half a tablespoon of thyme, a half tablespoon of oregano, a half tablespoon of parsley, and a 1/4 tablespoon of garlic powder. Then after that, you put yourself 1/8 of a cup of soy sauce. I'm using low sodium. A 1/8 of a cup of my olive oil and 1/8 of a cup of brown sugar. And that is all the ingredients. Now that I got everything in the bowl, you want to mix everything together. You don't want anything clumping up because that's going to give you not a very good marinade. So you just mix it, mix it, mix it. So what I'm using is just pre-packaged vacuum seal frozen pieces of salmon with the skin on the back. Pretty much any kind of salmon works there. It doesn't really matter if it's frozen or fresh. Of course fresh is going to taste better. And you're going to put it into a Ziploc bag. So you got your 2 pieces of salmon in a Ziploc bag so you can close it. And let's pour the marinade in. Okay, after you put your pieces of salmon in a Ziploc bag, so that way you can close it, what you're gonna do is just pour your marinade into the bag. Like so. Just make sure that you get everything out of it. So have your fork or spoon, so that way pretty much everything's out of the bowl. And then what you're gonna do is you're just gonna close it up, and you're gonna make sure that all of the air that you can get out of the bag is out of it. And you, like I said, you're going to want to coat both sides of it. So every half hour to an hour, you're going to want to flip it over. Put it in the fridge. Always put something down just in case the bag leaks for some reason, like a towel. I'm using a plate. And then we'll get grilling here in a second. So the first thing you do before you start grilling is you got to turn on all your burners. You want to preheat your grill for about 10 to 15 minutes. What I do is I turn everything on high and I just let it go for about 10 to 15 minutes. This is when I prepare my meat. You know, if I'm marinating, I take it out of the marinade and kind of dry it off a little bit, so on and so forth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my burners, I'm going to shut it completely off. I'm going to go off with just 2 burners. I'm going to put them at about 3/4, and then that's when I'm going to throw my meat on, okay? You want to throw your meat on. Skin side down first for the salmon. And you're gonna cook that for about 4 or 5 minutes. Okay, now that I'm all sanitized up, just wash my hands, I put a timer on for 5 minutes. I recommend just getting yourself a cheap little timer at Myers or Walmart, anywhere like that. It just helps you grill better. Okay, so first 5 minutes is done. What we're gonna do is we're gonna flip it over. Now, depending on if your fish has the skin on it, I always take my skins off right away. Just because I like to get both sides of the fish kind of grilled. So it just peels off pretty easily. Okay, that's the second timer. So now we're gonna flip our piece of fish. You wanna make sure that you get everything. You can tell if the fish is done by it splintering off like that. So, these pieces of fish are done. I'm gonna pull those things right off the grill, put it onto my plate. And that's how you grill your piece of salmon. Just to recap, you gotta preheat the grill. Of course, always do that when you're grilling. 10 minutes at all your burners on high. Then drop 2 of your burners down to 3/4 and the other one off. Put your piece of salmon, skin side down, for about 5 minutes. Flip it, take the skin off. Now you're gonna cook that for about 5 minutes, and then you're gonna flip it again for the third time. You're gonna cook it for about maybe 2 or 3 more minutes after that. Depends on how you like your fish. Then you're going to throw that on a plate with some rice or some garlic mashed potatoes, and you got yourself a meal. You now learned how to grill a piece of salmon. Thanks.